Have you struggled with hair loss? Well, today I want to talk to you about a budget friendly approach to a hair restoration plan that I've been using that I think could also help you too. Let's get into it. Okay, so let's talk about a cost-effective approach to hair restoration. In an earlier video, which I'll link to this one, I talked extensively about my full hair restoration plan that my dermatologist actually called the Rolls Royce of hair restoration. Because I know that a lot of people probably couldn't afford some aspects of that plan, I decided to do a video on a more budget friendly approach that basically just kind of narrows down some of the things that I included in the full video. But before I get into that, here's a few things to keep in mind as it relates to hair restoration. So I've been on this journey for about 20 years, and I basically had given up because I was just relying on what the dermatologist had told me to do, and none of that stuff was working. But then my hair had gotten to such a point that I had to take matters into my own hands and do my own research and come up with my own plan. And so that's what I did. And that plan has been working like a dream so far. So I'm really excited about that. A couple of things to keep in mind is that when you start losing your hair, it's not going to stop on its own. It's only going to get worse. So you really need to address it as soon as possible. Also, keep in mind that it's a multifaceted process. So you probably can't just take one thing and throw it at the hair loss and think it's going to work, because it's probably not that simple. It's a very complex issue. Sometimes it can be something as simple as a vitamin deficiency, but a lot of people have different forms of alopecia, which is the problem that I have. And I have the most common type, which is the androgenetic alopecia, which is both male and female pattern hair loss. So the good news about androgenetic alopecia is that in a lot of cases, you can actually get your hair back. And I'm lucky enough to be one of those. But the longer you wait and not treat your hair issue, the more likely it is that you get to a point of no return. So I encourage you to try and address it as soon as possible. Also, keep in mind that once you commit to something, you're in it for the long haul. So if your doctor prescribes you a prescription, you have to ask yourself, am I willing to take this prescription for the rest of my life? To me, there aren't many things I'm willing to do for the rest of my life. So I have to really make sure that whatever plan I came up with, not only would it work, but would I be committed to it? If you've never started a hair loss plan, these are the steps I would recommend you take. First, go see your primary care physician and ask them to run some blood work of anything that could be the cause of your hair loss. Two, get them to refer you to a dermatologist so they can actually diagnose and tell you what's the cause of your hair loss. Thirdly, when the dermatologist tries to give you a prescription, you've got to ask yourself, what are the side effects? Am I willing to commit to this for the rest of my life? And if you're not, ask if there's another approach. In my case, I had to figure it out on my own, but I did in fact figure it out. And if you have the most common cause of hair loss, which is androgenetic alopecia, similar to me, then I would suggest you take a look at my video on the full plan for hair restoration. But if you can't and you're on a budget, that's the purpose of this video, is to kind of help you figure out what can you do if you're on a budget. So basically, it's just eliminating the two most costly components of my full hair restoration plan. But I truly believe that you could still get some benefits from this. So the first step would be to commit to massaging your scalp regularly. Again, that's going to depend on what type of hair loss you have, because if you have scarring alopecia, massaging won't help you get your hair back. Those hair follicles are dead and they're just done. But if you have androgenetic alopecia like I do, then massaging would definitely help. But you have to do it consistently, and you have to do it for quite a while to get those to get that blood flowing in that area. I recommended the hair massager that I use, which is this little guy, which I bought from Amazon. So I love this little scalp massager, but it does break your hair off if you're not careful. A lot of the reviews talked about their hair getting tangled up in it. That's a whole nother issue. But I figured out how to resolve that. I'll do a special video on just this. But I do encourage you, if you're not willing to pay the $40 to get this, then just make a commitment that every night I'm going to sit down and watch a Netflix show and I'm just going to massage my scalp for 40 minutes. And if you do that, chances are you'll start to see some results. In addition to that, you could also use rosemary oil in conjunction with the carrier oil and just massage it into your scalp. So before you do your hair massages, just put the rosemary oil and massage it into your scalp. But again, if you can afford the $40 to get a scalp massager, in my opinion, that's much better. In addition to that, saw palmetto. Saw palmetto, if you have androgenetic alopecia, will help block that enzyme that is causing your testosterone to convert to that molecule called DHT. Saw palmetto is very cheap. You can get it over the counter. It's just a no-brainer. Lastly, get a dandruff shampoo, because a lot of dandruff is caused by a fungus, and the dandruff shampoo will attack that fungus, but you have to get the right dandruff shampoo. I got my doctor to do a prescription for dandruff shampoo that has 2 times the active ingredient than an over-the-counter one. But if you do go with an over-the-counter one, I encourage you to get Nizoral, which is 1% of that same active ingredient. The other active ingredients in the other types of over-the-counter shampoo just aren't as effective in killing the fungus as the one in Nizoral. Also, if you're willing to commit long-term to a drug, you could also get your doctor to prescribe finasteride if you're a man and dutasteride if you're a woman. So those are the things that you can do if you're on a budget but still want to see results in your hair restoration. I hope this helps. My heart goes out to you because I have been dealing with this for 20 years and I'm just so excited to finally start seeing some results. I just want to share it with everyone. Thank you for watching this video. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe, but more importantly, please share it with someone who also might benefit, as well as look at the next video where I'm going to demonstrate that hair massager to help show you how it benefited me. Until then, live life to the fullest.